Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a great day. If you're new, I hope you will consider sticking around by subscribing. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back and thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Today I wanted to do a quick garden update and then I'm going to add some pictures of the highlights of the garden at the end. So let's get started. So the strawberries have started to come back. They're looking pretty good in my stackable Dollar Tree planter. And then the black-eyed Susans that I dug out of the concrete are doing pretty good. It's one of my volunteer tomatoes. And some more volunteer tomato. The pineapple sage. Some volunteer catnip back there, and it's going to flower, so I'm sure I'll have tons more. And then the lavender and the cinnamon basil, and then the lemon basil, some rosemary, chamomile, which I have harvested quite a bit off of that. My horseradish, the comfrey, and then this is the ginger that has asparagus going crazy in there. And I do want to dig that up and replant it in my asparagus bed, but I'm kind of afraid that I will mess with the ginger right now, so I'm just going to wait on that. And then the blue spice basil. It still hasn't gotten very big. I did plant some on the side of the house also, and I have a pot that's a mixture of the blue spice basil and the Thai basil. So, and that's doing well, but I don't know which one's which, so there's that issue. And then some of my peppers. And then the Buna Mulata peppers. I got one of them coming on. Well, two of those coming on, and several blooms, so they're looking better. The pepperoncinis, and I do have a pepper coming on there. And then another pepper plant. I think this might be the regular bell peppers, but my sign got washed off, so I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what those are. And then one of my cherry tomatoes. It's got tomatoes blushing, so I think this will be the first of my cherry tomatoes for the year. I'm pretty excited about that. And then the spearmint and the marigold. The tomatillo. Pollinating it. And then the miniature bell peppers, which are doing well. The Kismet raspberry echinacea, which I think is just so beautiful. I'm hoping to grow this every year. It is really pretty. And then I added the Cheyenne Spirit echinacea this week, and that little bucket just came from the Dollar Tree. And then another pepper plant, which I believe is the cayenne. Can't really see down in there, but I think that's the cayenne. And then the raspberry bush, a blueberry bush, another blueberry bush. I'm not sure what that is or why it's growing in here, but I didn't pull it because it doesn't look like a weed to me. So I guess we'll find out what that is. This is my elderberry. And then the bee balm, my peach tree, and the persimmon tree. And then this is one of the tomato beds, and it does have some tomatoes coming on. I need to kind of clean it up a little better. But that's one of the tomatoes. This is another tomato bed. Which it's really hard to see anything, but those are tomatoes in there. There's some really nice sized ones. Those and those. And then the volunteer loofah is doing pretty good. And then another tomato bed. It's mostly cherry tomatoes, maybe all cherry tomatoes actually in that bed. And then my one sunflower that made it. And then my small corn bed. I don't have a ton of corn growing in there, but I have a few. I don't really have a great place to grow corn, but I do like to grow it. So I threw some in there, and I've had so much trouble with birds this year that I think that they did get some of the corn seeds along with a lot of my other seeds. But I'm wondering if this might be a sunflower. So I'm leaving that in there because I'm not real sure. And then this is the mixture of the blue spice basil and the Thai basil. And then in this bed I have zucchini, spaghetti squash, eggplant. I'm thinking that might be a little pumpkin, the wee pumpkin I think it's called, but I'm not for sure. And then an okra in there. And then my sage. Which I trimmed it up and it is looking way better now. And then my green stock, which has cabbage, some miniature tomatoes, kale, I think I got broccoli and maybe Brussels sprouts, some greens, that sort of thing. There is a tamarillo, a dwarf tomatillo, I believe, in there. That's that. And this is the back of one of the tomato beds.
I do want to talk about the Yum tomato. I grew this from a seed from a tomato from the grocery store, and when I moved it outside it got sunburned and then the bugs got it, but I want to show you how great it's doing now. And that's why I don't give up on any of the plants when they start looking bad. So I'll show you pictures of what it looked like before.
And then the sedum, it's doing really good, looks really pretty. And then the catnip, the firecracker plant, which I still have not seen a hummingbird. I'm a little disappointed about that, but and then my hollyhocks, and it does have poppies in there, also a lily of the valley back there. And then the hosta, one of the hostas by the pond, which is huge, but it's starting to look kind of bad because of the sun. This gets a lot of direct sun. I did buy shade cloth to put up, but I have not done that yet. So, and then this is by the pond, front of it. And then that's the other hosta. And then one of the daylilies, my celosia and calendula, my oregano, some pansies, and And then more poppies, which the poppy I grew from seed looked like it was getting ready to flower, and then they just kind of died, so I'm not sure what happened there. But it still has some green on it, so I'm hoping it'll come back. And then I added this little fella this week. And then this is the new green stock planter that I got. And I did buy some flowers from a local greenhouse here to fill it with. But I do have my strawberries in there, some catnip, calendula. I think I put lettuce in there.
It's just one of the tomato beds. It does have some tomatoes starting to come on. It has gladiolas, nasturtium, and zinnias in with it. And then in this bed I transplanted one of the loofah vines, and I just did that just a few minutes ago, so it's not doing much right now. But the blue spice basil, and then another tomato plant, and then the birdhouse gourd, and it's doing really great. I'm very excited. And then on this side I just have another tomato plant, and that is a tomato plant that I had cut off of a different plant and stuck down in the dirt. It doesn't look too good right now, but it's fairly new in there, so I think it'll bounce back. And then in this bed I have some more tomato plants, a loofah, and a birdhouse gourd, and they're just now starting to climb, so I'm not sure if I'll get anything this year off of those, but I'm still hopeful. And then I also have the lemon basil and a pepper plant, which it didn't do too great over here, but I think it's a little more shaded, and that might be why. There's that. And then another tomato bed. I do have some beans in there, which are back behind the tomato plants. I didn't really think that through very well, but I think I'll still be able to get to it. But I also have some nasturtiums in there. And then I ended up putting Brussels sprouts and a chamomile in this bed. And then this bed has pumpkins, Brussels sprouts, beans, some zinnia, some cosmos, Tosei watermelons, and some green beans and potatoes. And I do have a tomato plant growing in here also. It's not doing so hot, but I'm going to let it go. And then my broccoli that I let go to seed. There's the beans. And then there's some more beans. Zinnias. Some watermelons. And my potatoes. And then the front flower bed.